Are you one of those guitarists or singers that can do it really brilliantly out there for the public? So when you're busking, they all stop and gather round and applause and money just comes forth in great waterfalls. Well, I'm not. So here's me, red. One of those bright, attractive colours that people will really notice out on the high street. So when you're busking, I think the first thing to make sure is that people will see you as well as hear you. Hi. Well, I hope by now you've perhaps given some thought to what impression you create to the public as they look at you. And some of that is made by the things you wear, in particular your hat. So I'm just going to start at the top. I've got a box of hats here, and just imagine what sort of impression it creates and what you think you're going to get from this performer. What about that one? Am I going to be a blues singer, blues performer? Possibly. But if I wore this one, I don't think you'd expect me to be doing blues, would you? What about a nice, bright coloured hat? I don't know, what's this? Jive? Rock and roll? This one isn't rock and roll, is it? This is something else entirely. So you can see your hats are saying something about what sort of music you might choose to put out there, or at least what your impression you're going to give to the public. Well, having decided I was going to be more entertainer than performer, I needed to decide upon an image, a sort of brand if you like. And so I thought it was important to sort of humanise myself. So I looked at various colourful things, and I'd had past association with rainbow as a clown, and so I picked that name again quite confidently and decided that I'd become Rainbow Pete. I wanted to humanise it and give it a name. My name is Pete, so that was okay, but you might want to have a name that's a pseudonym. So there we are. And I spent quite a long time searching for that decal, this sticky rainbow shape. And once I'd got that, I began to build upon that idea. Now you remember in the earlier section I talked about hats, so it won't surprise you to know that I have a rainbow hat. And I've made sure that my wireless mic will fit under this hat, and that's important. In order to sort of create a nice friendly image, I came across these glasses, and I wear those over my normal spectacles. Changes the outlook on your face rather than having darker frames, etc. And it takes you into the more unconventional area. So I began to think about what the rest of my appearance would be like. And I'm sat down behind my equipment, so the top half of me is quite important. And because I often busk in cold weather, I used to wear not quite a scarf, but you know, something like that. But I decided that a rainbow necktie would be useful to me. I put some Velcro on it, and that fixes in there, and then I'm able to turn it round and have it filling the gap in the V of my neck. My next thing was my jacket, and this I wanted to sort of be attractive but neutral in a way, to set off the other things, hence the black. So I thought the black worked nicely with the red and rainbow, and I wanted something to hold it in place, which in this case is an elastic band across the two buttons, but sufficient to be able to splay open when I was sat down and not be restrictive in any way. And because my hands would be seen playing the guitar, I also had some rainbow gloves. And so with this sort of ensemble, it's quite eye-catching, it's different, and people, I think, warm to it. In fact, since I've begun to wear this outfit, I get people popping money into the collection area and say, like the outfit. Probably the singing's rubbish and my guitar's playing terrible, but they like the outfit. So that's good. They've taken notice and they can see I put some effort in, and they're kind of rewarding that, if you like. So, what about the trousers? Well, I don't want to appear in jeans, but they're not seen very much, so I've got a pair of pretty baggy, stripy trousers with a Velcro waistband and a slit in them so I can get in to my ordinary pockets should I need. And so I wear those, but they're not on show very much, but they are from the side. People will see you from the side of your equipment. They're not always looking at your face on. So I happen to favour those rather than a pair of jeans. So what else have I done to follow through my rainbow theme? Well, you can probably see that the guitar strap's rainbow, and I've got a sort of mascot here. And this proves quite attractive to children. And that's quite important, because when you're at half term, a lot of your busking sites might well have mums and toddlers strolling through them. And if the toddler shows interest, then the mother inevitably follows, and you can do something with the child. But what might you do? Well, I make use of these party whistleblowers, and I freely give these. I invite them to take one before they even offer or think about giving me money. And the mothers curse me afterwards, but the kids like them. They're in bright colours, they can choose the colour they want. They work out at about 9 or 10p per item if you buy 100 of them. And so I regard that as a good investment. And as I've said previously, since I've worn this outfit and presented myself as Rainbow Pete, I've had several occasions where I've doubled the money that I've taken. That's quite important, because in some sites you might only be busking for 40 minutes to an hour, and that's important too. How else do I make my kit exciting? Well, I've made use of these. These are little whirly gigs. The wind blows them round. I've found there's always a wind. So these spin round and again are colourful and attractive and catch the eye. I had considered making use of balloons, an inflator and one of these fast tie plastic fittings. And they would be really nice, but the only problem is I'd have to use my hands to make them and the guitar would be in the way. And it would take up more time than saying, please pick up a penny whistle, a party whistle. So I think that they're perhaps a non-starter, unless you want to spend the time doing it. So those are the ways that I've branded myself as Rainbow Pete. And your ideas might be totally different, but think about it as a brand image that you're presenting to the public, and something that perhaps fits in with your style of music and reflects what you're trying to do on the day. Okay, let's go move on to the next section. Well, let's see what we sound like. I'm the king of the swingers, and we'll be happy. Reach the top, had to stop, that's what's bothering me.